generally, if you ask me, my independent view, because I'm no longer in government, my independent view is that the level of taxes in Ghana is too high. And it comes from a misunderstanding of the tax regime that is appropriate for Ghana. I'll explain to it. If you go to the matured economies, those who have economies that work, they put more emphasis on what we call direct taxation and less emphasis on indirect taxation. So you allow companies to become competitive by reducing their taxes. And then when they make money, then you have a reason to tax them. So in the case of Ghana, our whole focus is on indirect taxes. How we collect duties at the port, just because we feel that it is much easier to collect that. So we try to maximize whatever we can from imports and duties and levies. But then you are killing your companies because they will not become competitive. So in the long run, there will be no profit to tax. And so we need to re-engineer our tax regime. That's the first thing. But admittedly also, we need to expand our tax base. And part of the problem with expanding our tax base is that we have an economy that is largely informal. 80 to 90% of our economy is informal. So it is very difficult then to bring all informal enterprises, particularly micro enterprises, into the tax net. So then you have a situation where only a few companies are into the tax bracket, and obviously the burden of tax is high, and then they end up maybe not having the same appetite to pay taxes. But whichever way it is, as a country, as Ghanaians, as citizens, we need to understand that we have to pay taxes. That is our responsibility to ensure that government has enough revenue to support our development. But the unfortunate thing also is that we don't only need to burden our companies with high taxes. The level of revenue leakages, the level of corruption in our country, if we deal with that, we don't need to pay those high taxes. So that's where the problem is the corruption and the revenue leakages. These are two sides of the same coin. Right. If we fix that, we don't need to borrow that much, and we don't need to increase taxes.
Very well. The Mahama administration said the same thing. The Akufo-Addo administration said the same thing. They had very nice ideas as to how to plug the leakages and deal with corruption. But, you know, here we are. We're still saddled with the same problem. So what are you proposing?
But you see, okay, let me put it this way. There are two main... Ghana has so many problems. But if you ask me, there are two fundamental challenges that we need to address. One is fixing the economy, and one is dealing with corruption. Now, if you look at the Great Transformational Plan, what it will help us do is to make sure that we bring the economy back to life. Because once you bring the economy back to life, you have low inflation, you have low interest rates, you have a stable currency, you have sustainable debt, you have large reserves. That is when you have a resilient economy. Once you have a resilient economy, things will begin to fall in place. Taxes will come down. Automatically, it will come down. And then you have more jobs created. So that's the first thing. If Alan becomes president, I'll make sure that the economy works again.
How long do you think it will take you to do that?
During the first term, if and when I become president, all the things that we are talking about, the economy will come back to life, even within 4 years. See, when people start talking about 10 years, 20 years, then you know that there's a deficiency in what they are hoping to do. We don't need more than 4 to 5 years to turn this economy around completely. Because what the building blocks yes, you see, if next time in your quiet time, try and audit what we've proposed in the Great Transformational Plan.
Indeed.
And then you will see that. But that's the first thing, making sure that we bring the economy back to life. But the second thing, if I were president, is to stamp out corruption. Because once you are able to bring the economy back to life and you stamp out corruption, then you're on the path of...
Isn't that being done already, stamping out corruption? Don't you think? That is.
But do you think so?
Oh, no, that's for you.
No, but I'm telling you that's exactly what I'm saying, that those are two things that I will not negotiate.
Yeah,
on.
and I'm saying, and I'm asking you, isn't that being done already? We have the Office of the Special Prosecutor, we have IOCO jumping in every now and then, we have Shraj.
That does not mean that we are aggressively dealing with corruption. And I don't want to use the little time we have now to be auditing the records of previous regimes. But there is no debate about the fact that the level of corruption in all the administrations is not sustainable. There is no way we can move from it with that kind of record.